Hey guys, we're gonna do topic 4 tests. So make sure you take that out. Make sure you have a pencil. And I'm gonna go over the instructions with you and give you time to work on it. Anytime that you feel I'm going too fast, you can always pause the video, finish answering your question, and then come back and press play. Okay? So first thing I want to do is kind of review some words that are going to be on our assessment, on our test. Why is this not working? Oh, there it is. I'm just really big today. Okay, get little. There we go. All right, so, can't really see the words. Okay, now you see them up there. See them? Okay, so the first word is greater. And that was a word that we went over a lot during this topic. A number that is greater, right? So if we have a number and we want to have a number that is greater, it just means like a number that's obviously more or bigger, like you guys like to say, but it's actually greater. So think of the number 5, right? Think of the number 5, and then think of a number that's greater than it. There's a lot of numbers that's greater, right? That are greater. So maybe 6 would be greater, or even 100, right, would be greater. Now, the word fewer means less. So if I had 5, and I'm telling you to think of a number that's fewer, you know that it's going to be less than 5, so it could be 0 or 3 or 4, right? And then order, it was when we were taking out the little cards with numbers and we would put them in order. So if we had the numbers 5, 6, and 4, and they were scrambled, we were trying to put them from least to greatest. So we would say 4 would go first, then 5, then 6. So that's what it means by order. All right. So let's go ahead and take our math page and let's write our name on the top. And be ready to pause the video if I'm going too fast for you, okay? I'm also going to be using my clock, and I'll be giving you 30 seconds for every problem on my clock, so that way I don't go too fast. All right. Okay, so if you're ready, let's go ahead and flip that paper over and find number 1. And number 1, I'm going to read the instructions down here at the bottom. And let's go ahead and begin. So remember, when you choose an answer, to bubble in nice and neat and only choose one answer. Okay, but let's listen to the question first. The question is, which one of these is greater? So they wrote a number there for you. You know what number that is. That means that that's how many green counters there are. Okay. And they wrote another number there for you, and that's how many blue ones there are. So you got to find which one is greater of these two numbers. Decide in your head. And then come down here, and you're going to choose the answer that you think is greater. There are only 2 numbers here, so don't get confused with the other numbers they put in there. All right, I started timing you for 30 seconds. All right, so that was 30 seconds, but if you need more time, remember to pause the video and then take your time, okay? So remember, you have to find the number that is greater, bubble in, and only one answer. All right, number 2. For number 2, my students always get confused with this one, so I thought I would help you with this one. And I'm going to help you first by, let's count every single option. We have option A, B, C, or D. We still don't know what the question is, but I do know that you have to count each tens frame. All right, so let's count this one. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 counters, so I'm going to write a little 9 right here so I don't forget how many counters there are there. Okay, so go ahead and write your 9. And now we're going to count what B has. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Let's write a 13. It's a 1 and a 3. All right, now let's do C. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and the last one is, you should know this one, right? 1, 2. Okay, now, the next part I'm not going to help you with, but I am going to read you the question. The question is, which group of counters shows a number that is more than 5 and less than 10? So it has to be, you have to choose the number that is in between 5 and 10. All right? Think about all the numbers that are in between 5 and 10, and you should only be able to choose one of these. All right? So when you found your answer, make sure you bubble in next to the answer that is more than 5 but less than 10. All right, I'm going to start the timer. More than 5 but less than 10. More than 5 but less than 10. A number that is in between 5 and 10. All right, let's move on to the next one. Number 3. For number 3, you have to pay attention to this up here. It says there are 3 ladybugs, right? So you have to find the group of ladybugs that is 2 fewer, that means 2 less than the ones up here. Okay, so find the group that has 2 fewer. That means you're going to take 2 away. And then find your answer and bubble it in. I'm going to time you. 2 fewer. What is 2 fewer than 3? Find it and bubble it in. Two fewer than 3. All right, that's 30 seconds, but if you need more time, you can always pause the video. Let's do number 4. You ready? Here's a line of ants, a line of ant hills. We all know that ants like to live in the ant hill, right? The first thing you're going to do is you're going to draw a line to match an ant hill with an ant. All right, so you're going to match and keep going until you run out of one or the other. So that's step 1. I'll give you a few seconds here. I'll time you so that you can match. So you'll be drawing a line from here to there, from here to there, and so on. All right. Now that you've matched, you could see, right, that one group has more than the other group. All right, so our next thing is, I think the easiest way to go is, I want you to count all the ant hills very carefully. Write your number right there. Okay, I'll give you 30 seconds. Count the ant hills. Make sure you write your answer right there. All right, so now you probably guessed it. You have to count how many ants and write your answer right there. Ready, go. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little less time on that one because I think it shouldn't take you that long to count how many ants, and hopefully you have a number right there. All right, now go back to the two groups. Which group has more? If it's the ant hills, make one big circle around the ant hills. If the ants have more, make a circle around the ants. So you're going to show me by circling which one is greater or which one has more. And then over here, look at the two numbers, and you're going to circle the number that is greater. So if it's this one circle there. If it's this one circle. But make sure you only do one circle. All right. Do you guys remember when we took out the cards from our sandwich bag and then we put them in order? All right, I want you to pretend this is the same thing. Pretend that you took these out of your bag and you have to put them in order from least to greatest. So I want you to find which one of these numbers is the least. The one that's less, write it in here first and then cross it out. Which one is the least? All right, now if you wrote your number here, make sure that you crossed out the card that you used. Now you're only going to have 3 cards. So look at those last 3 cards and find the one that is least, and that one's going to go here. So make sure you cross it out after you write it here. So right now you should have 2 numbers. The first one was the least, this one was the second least, and you should have crossed it out. All right, now you should only have 2 numbers that are not crossed out in here. Find the one that is the least and write it in there. And then the greatest number right here, it goes at the very end. So your numbers should now be in order and not scrambled up like this. All right. All right, if I went too fast on that, you can always pause the video. Let's go to the middle. Okay, for this one, I'm going to try to show you my whiteboard so that you can see. I'm going to write some numbers up there. You don't have to write the numbers, just pay attention. So, on this side, you're going to choose a number that is more than 5, but less than 10. So, in other words, numbers that are in between 5 and 10. So, what comes after 5? 6, right? What comes after 6? 7. What comes after 7? 8. And what comes after 8? 9. So, all of these numbers are in between 5 and 10. So, I want you to choose your favorite one from here. It can be any of these, and you're going to write it right there. All right, after you wrote your number, you're going to draw that many counters. So if I wrote 6, then I'm going to make 6 counters. If I wrote 7, 7, and so on, okay? But only choose one number to write up there and then draw that many counters. So your number and your counters match. All right, if you're finished, you still have to think of this number that is right here. So keep this number inside of your brain. I want you to take the number and put it inside of your brain. Keep it in there. Don't lose it. Now, think of the number that you drew on this side or the one you put in your head. Same thing. And I want you to think, what is 2 fewer than this number? 2 fewer means you're going to take 2 away. So take 2 away, and now you're at a different number. You're going to write your number there, and you're going to draw that many counters. Okay, so 2 fewer than this. That means you're going to have this many, and you're going to take